Hi girls, in this semester you people have the paper Big Data. So today I will start the concept of data and types of digital data. So what is data? Without data, the world internet can't work today. So data is present internal to the enterprise and also exist outside the four walls and firewalls of the enterprise. Data is present in homogeneous sources as well as heterogeneous sources. So data is also called as the information. So digital data. The digital data is a discrete, discontinuous representation of information, which is contrast with continuous and analogous signals, analog signal which behave in a continuous manner. You people studied in a digital and analog signals in your previous semester also. So here see the picture of this is the digital format of signals, that is the zeros and ones. This is the analog signals, that is the continuous wave or the sine wave. So data are either in a way of digital or analog, but in this unit we are going to see about the digital data and the types of digital data. So in the day-to-day life we have lot of data available in internet and offices, corporate and all the things. We have a lot of anonymous of data. So these data are collected and stored in the computer in the form of digital data only. Okay. So the types of data or what is big data? There is a lot of data available. Example, Internet of Things. We have computing power. We have technology. Here the big data means the large amount of data, that is called the 6 V's. I will explain you what is the 6 V's in my next class. This is the big data means a collection of anonymous of data. So data that is used in storages, statistics, artificial intelligence, data mining, sciences, parallel processing and distributed systems. So the big data means the large amounts of data collected passively from digital interactions with variety and high rate of velocity of data. That is called the big data. So big data means these 4 V's and also in another 2 V's are also available. This is the volume, velocity, variety and veracity. Volume is the scale of data. Velocity is analysis of data flow. Variety is the structured, semi-structured and unstructured group of data. And veracity means uncertainty of data. So these 3 types are the types of types or classification of digital data: structured data, semi-structured data and unstructured data. So what is the structured data? This is the data which is in organized form. For example, the data are in a rows and column format and can be easily used by a computer program. For example, relationship exists between entities of data such as a class and objects. Data stored in the databases is an example of structured data. Since the 1980, most of the enterprise data has been stored in relational databases complete with rows and columns, records, tuples like that. Primary keys, foreign keys, etc. So relational database management system, that is called the RDBMS, matured, and the RDBMS they are available today. They become more robust, cost effective and efficient. So the RDBMS is the format of rows and columns of record. That is an example of the structured data type. What is structured data is the data is collected from a known method and can be neatly arranged. Unstructured data means the data that has no predefined format or organization, making analysis more difficult. So this is the picture representation for the structured data and unstructured data. Structured data means you people knew that while using the databases like MS Access, SQL, like that you have a table format. Okay, the columns and rows combinations of data. The data are organized in a proper way in a row and column wise. That data are called the structured data. So the unstructured data or that are not follow a predefined format like a row and column. The data should be in a video format. The data should be in a music, in a video, audio format, multimedia format, text, like that. It is a collection of mixing of all type of data is called the unstructured data. So it is difficult to handle that unformatted or unstructured data. So this is also the pictorial representation for the structured data and unstructured data. For example, you can see this. This is the data are arranged in a proper manner in the rows and column wise. But in the unstructured data, the data are in a different formats. It may be in text, it may be in audio, it may be in video, like that. So this is the example of the relational database model, that is the structured data. In this database, the data are organized in a predefined format, that is, this is a table, the name, the last name, address, in a proper way. The data are arranged. This is called So this is the example for the relational database model, that is, the data are arranged in the rows and column format. So this is the example for the structured data. So this is the schema of an employee table. That means the schema means the syntax, how to declare the variables in the relational database model. So this is the example of a table, employee and the department table. These two tables are connected by means of the specific field, the department ID. So here the employee ID is declared in the number type, first name declared in the varchar, last name declared in the varchar, and the hire date in date type, manager, department ID, and department to department ID are in the number type. So this is the schema of the relational database model. In 1980s, from 1980s, these types of data are available in a structured format. This is the example of the structured format. So the sources of the structured data are like relational database management system like Oracle, MySQL, DB2, and spreadsheets and OLTP systems. These are all the sources of the structured data. For example, if your data is highly structured, one can look at leverage any of the available database systems like Oracle, IBM, DB2, Microsoft SQL Server, Teradata, MySQL, open source, PostgreSQL, like that. Lot of sources are available for the structured data. Here the sources of the structured data are human generated data, data generated by humans in interaction with computer. Any piece of data inputted by the human like name, age, income, etc. And click stream data, data generated by every click or link on a website. Gaming related data, data generated by every move you make in a game. And then the emails, Word, documents, spreadsheet, audio, video that are created and shared with other people, also called fastest growing data set. So ease of working with structured data. Structured data provide the case of working with it. The ease is with respect to the following. The first one is the insert or update or delete. The data manipulation language, DML operations provide the required ease with data input, storage, access, process, analysis, etc. And then security. How does one ensure the secure of information? There are available encryption and tokenization solutions to warrant the security of information throughout its life cycle. Organizations are able to retain, control, and maintain compliance by ensuring that only authorized individuals are able to decrypt and view sensitive information. And then indexing. And then the indexing, and index is a data structure that speeds up and data retrieval operations. And scalability. The storage and processing capabilities of the traditional RDBMS can be easily scaled up by increasing the horsepower of the database server. And the fifth one is the transaction processing. That is also shortly called as RDBMS support ACID properties, that is called atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. So the atomicity means a transaction is atomic, means that either it happens in it entirely or none of it at all. Consistency means the database moves from one consistent state to another consistent state. In other words, if the same piece of information is stored at two or more places, they are in complete agreement. And the third one is the isolation. The resource allocation to the transaction happens such that the transaction gets the impression that is the only transaction happening in isolation. And the durability, all changes made to the database during a transaction are permanent and that account for the durability of the transaction. These are all the ACID properties. The next one is the semi-structured data. The semi-structured data is also referred to as self-describing structure. It does not conform to the data model that one typically associates with relational database or any other form of data tables. It uses tags to segregate semantic elements. Semi-structured data has a lack of fixed rigid schema. There is no separation between the data and the schema. It is a self-describing structure. That means it uses the tags to segregate semantic elements. So simply said, semi-structured data does not follow the traditional relational database model. That means semi-structured data does not follow a schema, means it does not have a row format, column format of tables. Mainly it is like a HTML document. The data are stored in the format of HTML, XML, like that of information are stored there. Semi-structured data are self-describing data, that means metadata, also called quasi-data. Data in between structured and semi-structured data is called the semi-structured data. It is a type of structured data but not follow the data model. One of the most important thing here you have to keep it in your mind is semi-structured data that not follow any data model. Data which does not have rigid structure at all, that also very important here, that is it does not follow any structure. For example, email, word processing software, like that. XML and other markup languages are often used to manage semi-structured data. The semi-structured data has a separate schema to describe its structure. Semi-structured data is self-describing, that is the data itself carries information about what is schema is. For example, in XML you people studied in last semester, I think the tags are related to that the concept of the web designing, okay. Like that, the semi-structured data is self-describing, that is the data itself carries information about what is schema is. The advantage is flexibility in adding new attributes and relationship. That is, schema can vary arbitrarily both over time and within a single database. The sources of semi-structured data are XML, other markup languages, example HTML and JSON, JavaScript object notation language. So XML is popularly used for web services. HTML is also used for designing web services. JSON used to transfer data between server and web application. Popular by web service used for REST, means representational state transfer, used for creating scalable web services. And the MongoDB and the Couchbase. The MongoDB is an open source distributed NoSQL documented oriented database. And the Couchbase is an open source distributed NoSQL documented oriented database. So the semi-structured data is basically in the format of this is the example of the semi-structured data. Here this is the example of coding that is used in the XML, that is related to the real life examples. For example, if you want to send a memo or notes to your friend, the codings are the tags are created by the user itself. node from to heading body like that. So these are all the examples of semi-structured data.